This Cornwall Channel broadcast has been in part funded by FAC Properties, a trusted company for buying, selling and letting property in Cornwall.
Ythesowchwi o Mirasorth, Canol Cerno.
Welcome to this week's Cornwall Channel. Now, I'm not Al Murray. You are seeing me here, courtesy of my friends at the Rockin', introducing this week's show. Coming up in the programme, Ron and I went all the way down to the furthest end of Cornwall, right down to Land's End, to catch up with Alice and to see the wonderful Magic in the Skies firework display. I also love it when something new comes out of Cornwall, when someone comes up with a new idea and it's the first idea in the UK. Well, that's the case with Cornwall Football Golf. I went along to meet up with Toby, who came up with a fantastic idea of combining the two sports together to make it the first course here in the UK. And to finish this week's show, Emlyn Harris got in contact with us to let us know about his piece about the Cornwall Contemporary Poetry Festival. So a busy show this week. As always, we love to hear from you, so please get in contact with us on our website, cornwallchannel.co.uk, on Twitter, or in fact our Facebook page. Enjoy the show and I'll see you again next week. Well, the best thing for me working here at the Cornwall Channel is that I get to see places that I haven't seen for a long time, or in fact places I've not seen at all. And tonight is no exception, as I've arrived here at Land's End to catch up with Alice to find out what's been going on here at this wonderful visitor attraction. Let's go and catch up with her. Ooh-ar! Can we just have a little wave at the camera then? Just a quick, get close. Well, I've caught up with Alice. She's busy here on site. Alice, fantastic. Thanks so much for letting us come in to Land's End tonight. So much going on at the minute. Tell us some of the things that's going on here tonight.
Well, tonight we've got local band Rudy's Message, who we're really excited that they're here. They're a ska band, so the hits of Madness, it's absolutely fantastic. Then we've also got performers from Swamp Circus who are doing a glow show. There's some stilt walkers wandering around. And then tonight at about 9:45 we're doing our musical fireworks, which we're really excited about.
And how often do you do that, and how long does it last for the season?
The fireworks are every Tuesday and Thursday throughout August. We do that every year, and lots of events as well. We have about 6 main event days, and in total 11 nights of fireworks, so there's a lot going on.
And the history of Land's End, I mean, I remember coming here when I was tiny. There's so much. Where do you start with it? I mean,
you can start back as far as you like. I mean, we can trace back human activity here for about 8,000 years. So we've got prehistoric Cornwall. But in terms of the ownership of Land's End was first owned by one of the lords of William the Conqueror in 1066. He was granted the land, and since then there has been a plethora of different private owners of Land's End. So there's a lot of history to find out.
What do you think the magic is of Land's End? What draws all these visitors that you see every year to Land's End? What do you think it is?
I think it's that geographically it's the westernmost point of Cornwall in England, and then also the sheer history of the footfall here. I mean, there's not many places that can claim such a diverse breadth of history and variety. So there's definitely an interesting spirit to the place, and a lot of people who are very enthusiastic and very passionate about it.
Now, what can people expect when they come to Land's End? I mean, I'm here, I can see for myself, but what's here? What can people expect when they walk through your gates?
Well, when you walk through the gates, obviously you've got the main complex, which we've got behind us. So you've got our attractions, you've got our retail outlets, you've got our cafes and our restaurants. But in addition to that, there's 100 acres of natural landscape surrounding Land's End, including the Southwest Coast Path. Incredible diverse wildlife here, birds. You can see 9 different marine mammals from Land's End, which is, just such a pleasure and a privilege to be able to say that we have. So there's lots to see. There really is something for everybody.
And who has been the most famous visitor here?
Oh,
would you say?
We've had lots of different visitors here. I mean, last year we had Gary Barlow, we had Brian Cox, we had Chris Evans.
Gary Barlow?
Yeah.
Boy Zone, something like that, isn't it?
Take that.
That's the one.
We had Gary Barlow. We've had who else have we had? I mean, we've had more recently. We've had Jerry Halliwell. We've had
Wow.
Christine Bleakley.
Yeah.
I mean, it's quite often that we get celebrities come down here either on holiday or they're down here possibly doing an end-to-end, so a Land's End to John O'Groats journey or vice versa. So lots of things going on, lots of celebrities, lots of special people.
And anything new that we need to know about? Anything that's coming up that our viewers should know?
Well, obviously we've got our next event days coming up for the end of August. We've got Merlin Day, Pirate Day and Children's Day. There's going to be cannons on Pirate Day, so I'm quite excited about that one. And then we've also got a walking festival coming up in September. We've got Halloween coming up, which will be really exciting.
And scary.
And scary. And then we've got Christmas parties at the hotel. So there's always something going on at Land's End. It's definitely worth coming down for a visit.
Well, once again, thank you so much for inviting us down. It's great to see the place again. I think it's just about time now that the fireworks are about to start. It's getting dark, so we're now going to cut over to our coverage of the magic in the skies. Well, my thanks to Alice and everyone here at Land's End. A fantastic evening here with Rudy's message and indeed the fireworks. If you haven't come down here for a while, make sure you make an effort to come down soon. Toby, this is great for Cornwall. How did it all come about?
It came about a few years ago when I just literally searched football and golf on the internet just to see, because I came up with the idea and already found that it existed out in Scandinavia. So I went out there, played with a few friends, and yeah, when I came back I just wanted to do one. So it's taken a couple of years to come to reality, but yeah, we're there now. So.
And what's the feedback been like?
Yeah, it's been really positive. There's been all ages playing. We've got toddlers. We had an 81-year-old play the course, did 18 holes the other day. So yeah, everyone's enjoying it. It's a mix of sort of crazy golf and football. So yeah, everyone's having fun really.
And just describe to our viewers, obviously we'll put some shots in there of what goes on, but what can you expect? It's not just kicking the ball around.
No, every hole's got a tee sign that starts off and tells you how the hole has to be played. It's not just a case of kicking the ball to the flag. You have to either go around something or over something, under something or through something, and that's what adds the fun and the difficulty to the game.
And what has people's comments been like? What, as a visitor, this is a visitor attraction for Cornwall now.
Yeah.
What has people's feedback been like? What have they been saying?
Oh, they've been having fun. I mean, when they come in the clubhouse, they don't know what to expect before they go out, and then when they come back, they're quite buzzing, and they've, because it's not easy, they've had a sort of a good laugh as such. They struggle on some holes, do well on others. So you get holes in one, and then at the same time on the next hole they might get a 12 or something. So it's just a lot of fun, really.
And you say fun, so I take this can be for any player?
Yeah, that's right. We've got two courses. A red course that's on the flatter land. That one's got loads of obstacles, quite tricky, quite twisty, but it's shorter kicks on average, so that one's suitable for all ages. And then we've got the blue course, which is on the hills. That one's got longer kicks on it, so that's suitable for, we normally say about 10 upwards, but younger kids can play it as well. That one's got the longer kicks and it's on the hills, and that's what makes that one challenging.
And just out of interest, what did you do before Cornwall Football Golf?
I've done a few things. The last thing we had the village shop and post office in Verrion, so that's what we had before that, and before that it was a mobile phone business.
And for you, where do you see this business in 5 years' time?
Well, hopefully we're just going to add to it and make it better and better each year. That's the plan. It's too early to say whether we'll do another one maybe in Devon or something like that, but I want to get this one perfect. Once I'm happy that this one's perfect, then maybe might start thinking of expanding, that sort of thing.
And any kind of tips for any of the viewers thinking about coming down here?
Yeah, good tip is to keep the ball on the ground as much as possible rather than kick it in the air, because once it goes in the air you don't know where it's going to bounce. And it's going to take a few holes to get used to it, because when you play football there's normally someone on the other end of the pass to stop it, whereas with football golf obviously you've got to get the weight right of the passing, so it's not easy, but I'm sure you have fun anyway.
And you have experienced great demand since you opened, and I believe you had Andrew Henderson. Yeah, he's the world freestyle champion. Yeah, he came down and had a game, did a few tricks for us as well, which was nice of him. And that was quite impressive what he did there, those tricks, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't even think that's half of what he can actually do when he's in the sort of tournament stage. He had just come back from the World Cup in Brazil, where he'd been performing out there, so it was good to have him come along and have a game.
And of course you based the business here in St Austell in Cornwall. What is it about Cornwall for you that you love?
Well, I think it's the perfect location, really. Obviously we're in central Cornwall as well, so we're getting visitors from all around Cornwall. And obviously, you've got the holiday market, you've got the locals. Everyone likes a bit of football, everyone likes a bit of golf, so it's perfect, really.
And have you had any kind of backlash from any golfing people saying, Debbie's a silly, you can't do football and golf?
We've had a few people sort of turn up expecting to play golf, and they've actually given the football golf a go and actually loved it. So it's no, we've had no sort of negativity really from golfers. Like I say, it's just adding a twist to the game. It's just a bit of fun, like I say.
And finally, for people to have a look into what you're all about, I take it you've got a website. What's the address?
Yeah, you can find us on Facebook at Cornwall Football Golf, or just search online. We're cornwallfootballgolf.co.uk. We're open 7 days a week from 10 o'clock in the morning, and last kick-off's at 7 o'clock in the evening.
We're going to be late.
Oh, I forgot to lock the back door.
We need to talk. You drink too much, you smoke too much, you let us down too often. Mum, Dad, we've decided it's time to go to Dale's.
If your car drinks too much, smokes too much, or lets you down too often, it's time you went to Dale's.
Looking for a home maintenance company you can trust? Ocean now provides a whole range of expert maintenance services, from heating, electrics and plumbing, to refurbishment and roofing. And thanks to our 24-hour emergency call-out service, you're always covered. Ocean, we do more than you think. To find out more, call St Austell 874488 today, or visit www.morethanyoutthink.co.uk. Hidden in the beautiful valley of the Golden Mile, overlooking Mounts Bay, you will find Tremonier Sculpture Gardens, a true jewel in Penwith's crown, offering breathtaking views, tropical and subtropical planting, and a growing collection of sculptural installations from world-renowned artists such as James Turrell, David Nash, Tim Shaw, Richard Long, Keisho Sugar, Tony Latimer and Ken Gill. With its cafe, design shop and gallery, Tremonier Gardens is a must-see destination. FAC Property Consultants and Lettings Agents. We are a Cornish family-run property business with a thriving lettings and estate agency. We have a variety of incentives if you're a first-time landlord or an experienced landlord with multiple properties. If you're looking to sell your property, we have a limited offer to sell your property for 1% plus VAT. Give our experienced specialist team a call on St Austell 812271 or Bodmin 264 686.
Hewis Water Garage, conveniently located in St Austell, Cornwall. We are a used car dealer offering knowledge and experience on a wide range of vehicles. All our sales vehicles come with the following: full MOT, full service, HPI check, in-house comprehensive warranty and courtesy vehicle. Visit us online at hewiswatergarage.com or call St Austell 882 114.
During the weekend of Saturday the 28th and Sunday the 29th of June 2014, Calstock Arts Centre on the banks of the River Tamar in Cornwall saw the launch of the first Cornwall Contemporary Poetry Festival. The festival, an initiative of the Falmouth Poetry Group with support of Arts Council England and the Tanner Trust, offered a two-day celebration of the best in new poetry, including readings, workshops and panel discussions with some of the UK's most exciting poets. The festival also included some of today's strongest new voices and revealed the winner of a brand new poetry competition.
Initially, one of the groups simply said to the groans of the others, "I know, we'll hold a poetry festival." And two of the group, who are very established poets, Penny Shuttle and Caroline Carver, have been involved in such things before.
We decided we'd have it in Calstock to draw on all the people who are interested in poetry in Cornwall and Devon, and then hopefully beyond. We wanted to bring into Cornwall this multicultural strand. So we have Kai Miller, originally from Jamaica, who uses patois in his poetry, but who is also an academic. We invited Imtiaz Darker, who was born in Pakistan, and at the age of 6 months her family moved to Scotland. Her late husband was Welsh, so all of these cultural references are in her work. We invited David Morley, who had never read in Cornwall before, and David Morley draws on his Romany heritage. He has a father who is from the Roma, and he uses Roma dialect. Katrina Naomi, who is another one of her readers who had lived in London for a long time and moved to Cornwall, to Penzance, just as we were assembling the poets. We wanted a poet based in Devon, so that's Greta Stoddart, who lived in London and is now based in Devon.
The fitter. It can take days. The vision, you see, is vital. Without it, it's nothing. A soft toy. Pass me my eyes, pointing to an old biscuit tin. It's a kind of hunting all over again, with photos pinned, books open, ready with needle and glue.
The fact that you can go to these festivals and you see the actual poets who wrote the actual poems, and you can hear it in their real physical voice, I think does bring a whole new dimension for poetry readers.
Yes, the current professors. And in front of the house, you always see a one woman only 3 teeth in her mouth, and she out there selling pepper shrimp in a school chair with an umbrella tied to it, and beside her she always have 2 mongrel dogs, and one of them is white and another one is brown. Yes, I know exactly where you mean, because cartographer says. And in the yard there's a big guinea tree that hang right out to the road, so school picnic always stop there to buy shrimp and eat free guinea. Yes, the cartographer insists. I know it. Good, says the informant, cause he must have gone there.
There are people who say that work should always work on the page alone, and work never works on the page alone. And there are some sounds that no matter how authentically I represent it on the page, you will simply not know that sound because you haven't encountered it. For instance, even like a South African click, you could write that on the page, but you haven't heard the sound, so you don't know it. And in that sense, probably reading is important. It's important to for people to hear the sound that you're suggesting.
I think it was John Lennon says that life happens while you're busy making plans. I don't think, I don't think you can plan for poetry. I don't think it's not a regimented thing, and I think that's part of its joy really, is that it's quite anarchic on some levels. It doesn't really follow strict, any linear progressions. It tends to sort of whirl around on itself and move around.
Lunch at the Elephant and Castle. I hadn't thought of you walking into the George, but you did. And through the smoke and people standing up, you saw me lying on the carpet with Andy. Was that his name? I'm not too sure. I do remember how much I fancied him. He was blonde, while you're dark, blue-eyed, while yours are grey.
I never ever stop the poem until I've read it aloud. It has to be read aloud.
The municipal pipe bursts. Silver crashes to the ground, and the flow has found a roar of tongues. From the huts, a congregation. Every man, woman, child for streets around, butts in with pots, brass, copper, aluminium, plastic buckets, frantic hands. And naked children screaming in the liquid sun, their highlights polished to perfection, flashing light as the blessing sings over their small bones.
I don't know if that's because my tradition, my background is an oral tradition, when really the worth of a poet was in being able to stand up and say the poem, which I can't do. I can't remember the whole poem by heart. I think the tradition of writing in English is quite different. But an Urdu poet would see it as shameful not to remember his own poem or her own poem. So the idea that it's going to be heard, that a poem has to have a music that you can hear when you read it aloud, that's certainly part of my feeling about poetry. And I will always have to read it aloud to myself before I let it go onto the page.
I teach now all over the world, and one of the things that I do is that I'm kind of slightly uncomfortable in a classroom. And I probably have to spend far too much time in classrooms. So if I can get them out of doors, I will, because I'm happier and they're happier.
We are a small community, and wherever we can, if we can come together like this in different parts of the country or the world. It's always very special. It feels there's something familial about it. It feels like we are part of one massive family and we get together in these little groups. And it's very interesting that poetry festivals seem to be popping up now, you know, at a time when people have got very little money, or governments and local councils have got very little money. Clearly there's a demand for it.
Thank you for watching this week's Cornwall channel. We would love to hear from you, your thoughts and ideas for future Cornish programmes. This dedicated weekly channel for Cornwall on Sky and Freesat aims to deliver information and local programmes. If you have any news you think we should cover, then please get in touch using our website at cornwallchannel.co.uk or via our Facebook and Twitter pages. See you next week.
This Cornwall Channel broadcast has been in part funded by FAC Properties, a trusted company for buying, selling and letting property in Cornwall.